Hello friends, welcome to part 2 SQLite CRUD operation with room library. Last part in last video in part 1 we set up our project with navigation component, and we created two fragments, user list and new user fragment, and we also navigate between those fragments, right? So in this video we are going to continue our room library setup. So you can see here I have already opened the official website of Google provide for the room library, and you can see there are lots of advantages of room database. We have compile time verification with room database, and we also have very less coding. They remove the boilerplate extra code which we were following in old coding syntax, right? So let's start the coding. First of all, in room database integration we need to implement the dependency of room library. So here I am just going to copy this dependency and paste with our application inside Android Studio. Build a Gradle module app file. So I just paste the dependency and sync the project. Okay, so project sync process is done. Next, inside our project package folder, I'm going to right click here and creating a package, that is entities. Okay, so in room library, entities represent a table. For each table we need to create different entities. So if we have 5 number of table, we need to create 5 entities here. Okay, so we need to create entity. Second, I will create a DAO class. Okay, so DAO is normally used for the operation respective to our entities. Okay, so next we will create a DAO. One more package I am going to create for the fragments. So here I right click and create a package here, that is fragments, and I will move my fragments to this package. Okay, so let's create entities now. Inside entities package I am going to create new class, and name of the class I will set user. It will be an entity, so I need to represent this class with entity annotation, that is from room library. And inside the user class you can declare the field respective to your columns. So here I want public integer id first of all. So id will be our primary key, and with primary key I will also set auto generated true, so that its value we do not need to provide explicitly, it will automatically generate it. Okay, similarly here I am going to create public string first name. You can also declare this field private and generate getter setter method as well, but here I am going to declare this field as a public field. Okay, so not an issue. Public string first name, public string last name, email, and age. So with this field I want to continue my database. Okay, and inside the first name you can also set the column related properties here. Okay, so you can see @column info is the annotation we have. If you are not aware about this, you can also follow this official documentation given by Google. Okay, and here also you can see that annotations they have given. Okay, so @column info, and what is the name of the column, so that I can set anything, like here I want first underscore name. Okay, so whenever my table will generated, it will have the column with first underscore name column. Okay, similarly here I copy paste the code and set the name last underscore name for last name. Email and age I don't want any kind of changes. So with this we have done with the entity. Next I am going to create a DAO will be our interface in room coding. Okay, room database coding. Here I am going to create an interface, and the name of the interface I will set user DAO. So DAO is respective to my user entity. So next here I am going to have the annotation DAO here, and I also need to create abstract method. As we know, interface only contains abstract method, so this method will represent a different operation with our user table or user entity. Okay, first of all, say suppose I want to create one insert operation with user entity. So I will have method here, void insert user something, and inside the insert user method I will pass user entity. Okay, so with this method I will have the annotation at the rate insert. Okay guys, so here we do not need to write any insert query, it will automatically handled by the room library. We just need to use at the rate insert annotation. Similarly, you can also copy this method and name it update user, and for update operation you only need to set update annotation. Same way we can have delete operation as well. So delete annotation we can use, and method name I will set delete user. So guys, here it is the advantage of room library. We do not need to write any kind of SQL query. Without SQL query we can insert, update and delete our data. Okay, next I am going to create method for fetching the users. Okay, so return type I will set list of user here, because it will fetch the data from database, and name of the method I will set get all users without any argument, so nowhere condition I have. And the annotation we can use is query annotation we can use for select query, and inside the query annotation we can type the query select star from user. Okay, so you can see if I type anything wrong here, then it will automatically find the error. So compile time it is verifying the syntax. So that is another advantage of room library. So with this user DAO we have done with the DAO implementation. Okay, next here I am going to create one more package uh, for database. Okay, so let me create one more package here, db, and inside the db I am going to create one more class, app database. Okay, so for database we need to create a class that will be a abstract class, and this class will directly communicate with our database. Okay, so we need to create one abstract class, and before this class we need to set the annotation, that is room database. Okay, database annotation we need to pass here, and inside the database annotation we can pass the properties entities will be array. Okay, so we need to pass number of entities we have created. So we have currently only one entity. In future we will also add more entities here. And second argument, second property we will set, that is version of our database, which we will set 1 as of now. In future we can upgrade to 2, 3 and 4 as well. Okay, and inside the database we normally have abstract method. So you can see here public abstract method I am going to create, and with this abstract method I will have the return type user DAO, that is the interface we have created here, and method name, that is also I have set user DAO. So any number of DAO class you have, you can just create abstract method respective to your DAO class. So this is the fundamentals we need to follow here. One more thing I am going to create here is, we are going to create one public static and app database get instance method. Okay, so this is something method here I am going to create, which will help you to create the instance of our app database, and that app database instance here I also going to declare a public private static app database db. Okay, so we declare the app database instance here, and get instance method will help me to create the instance of app database. To create the instance we can write here if db double equal to null. So if it is null, it will be only first time null. So if it is null, we need to create it. So how can we create is, for that we can use room database dot builder, and inside the builder we can pass context here. If you are not aware about this syntax as well, so you can see here Google has given all the details how to create the instance. So you can see room dot database builder. So instead of room database we can write room dot database builder, and inside the database builder we can pass context. Okay, second argument is our class name, that is app database, our class name. dot class, and third argument will be string. String, that is a database name. So database name here I am going to get from context dot get string r dot string dot app underscore name. So the app name I have given to our database name, and context here we do not have because we are not inside activity or fragment. So context we can pass here as argument. Okay, so context is ready, and app database dot class is also ready we have. And in last of this database builder we need to call build method. Okay, and that build method will automatically return a app database instance that you can see here as well. Okay, so this is the code we need to follow to create the instance of app database. So guys, here you can see app database throwing an error. Why? Because it is looking for the room database, but our class is not inheriting the room database. So here I need to extend room database. Okay, so that error is gone and DB instance is ready, and finally we will return this DB instance. And one more thing we can do here is, whenever we are creating the room database, right, it is not allowing the queries on the main thread by default. So to continue our queries on the main thread, that is activity or fragment, we need to write one more method here with the builder, allow main thread queries. Okay, so it will allow to write main queries on the main thread. Okay, so we have done with this app database and everything we have ready. We create entities, we have created user DAO and app database instance. So for this video we keep this much only. In next video we will continue with the insert operation. So I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Thank you guys. So let's meet in part 3.